The HK416D, let's check it out. Guys, HK is known for its really legendary firearms used by military and police all over the world. So many different designs and models. Made in Germany, HK is really synonymous with high quality firearms. With the HK416, it is a piston driven short stroke AR-15 type rifle. Here we have the 416D. This is in 22 long rifle, and it's pretty much the same look of your standard 416 5.56 rifle, but this is again in 22. Everything is mimicked from the original rifle, and this is a great training rifle, great plinking, hunting, whatever you want. And 22 is so fun to take out to the range. It's inexpensive to shoot, and so it just gives you a lot more trigger time, and yet you have all the same controls of your HK416. Now these are actually made by Umarex and licensed by HK. And so for HK to put their name behind it, it has to be pretty good quality. And my first experience with Umarex is their Colt M4 in 22 long rifle. I've had this for over 11 years. And this is a great little rifle. There's some differences with the standard AR-15, but we're going to take a look at it. I mean, very dependable. So I'm a big fan. Man, the looks of the HK416D, I mean, it does mimic its bigger brother. And I want to give a big thank you to Nate over at Gun Zone Deals for sending the 416D for this review. Really allows us to bring a lot of guns to you guys. Now guys, one thing that I want to say right up front, if this was actually made by HK, it would be considerably more expensive. So, you know, Umarex, that option is just great. And again, we've had so much success with the Colt M4, which again was licensed by Colt. But we're going to look at some of the features, but we're also going to look at some things that make this a lot different than a standard AR-15 type rifle. Let's go ahead and remove our magazine. This is a 20 round magazine. They do make 10 and 30 round magazines as well. And then we're going to open it up. Short stroke, and it's empty. And of course, being 22, it's got a totally different system, and when we break this down, we're going to take a look at it. We have an M4 configuration barrel. It is 16.1 inches in length. We've got our A2 bird cage on the front, and sure, it's half by 28 threads. One thing that I love though about this rifle, maybe more than anything else, is the handguard. And it is an aluminum handguard, has M-LOK all the way around 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. We also have some M-LOK rails that are recessed in, but I think that's more for just cooling. Now here at the front we have a faux gas adjustment, because on the original HK416 it is a short stroke gas piston gun. And so this just mimics it. This is not useful, but it's definitely a cool look to it. You also have sling mounts on either side, and we have a bayonet lug. Here at the back we have QD ports on both sides. And the handguard is T-marked all the way down. We have flip-up adjustable sights on the front and here on the rear. But of course we did mount one of the Trijicon MROs on here for a red dot option. I'll tell you what's crazy is I put it on and it was dead on accurate as soon as I shot it. I never adjusted it. Now it does have a dust cover. It says that it's functioning. I couldn't get it to close, but it is there for the look. Also we have a forward assist, which obviously there's no reason, there's no cuts on your bolt. And then we have the shell deflector. One thing I did notice was when we were shooting it, the ejection pattern was spot on in one direction. Here we have our mag release button, just like your standard AR-15. We also have a polymer pistol grip with palm swales, and we have a compartment at the bottom. You just turn it, and then the whole piece just comes right out. That way you can store batteries or whatever you want to in there, and then just closes up, and it just locks into place. Charging handle comes back just really short because of the 22. Now we have an HK style with HK on the buttstock, and you actually adjust it here at the bottom of this small lever, and it is adjustable on your buffer tube. And the butt pad is actually just polymer, but it does have a nice gripping surface to it. The upper and lower receiver are aluminum alloy, and I love the HK white outline, which is typical for HK, and then we have safe and we have fire. Now it does have last round bolt hold open on your magazine, but the bolt hold open feature does not work on here. It's mainly for cosmetics. And here with the magazine in, bring it back and it does lock it open. Drop the mag, pull back on your charging handle, and it goes forward. Now the magazine is one that Umarex uses for all of their 22 rifles. For the Colt M4, it has similar type magazines, and they do work in this rifle as well. You do get one magazine. This is the 20 rounder, and again, it does go from 10 to 30. It's got a really easy loading system right here, and it's spring loaded, so it makes it simple to be able to load those magazines. And it's that correct size, so when you put it into the rifle, it feels like a standard AR-15 magazine. Now here is my original Colt M4, and again, it is a Umarex. This has been around for a while. It even has the quad rail, and I'm sure they've updated that. Removable charging handle, and I actually added a Magpul Most stock on here. But this has been a great little rifle, and we have had a lot of success shooting with this. Done a lot of weapons light testing with it, and so I shoot this all the time. In fact, it's probably one of the most shot firearms that I own because I use it for so many different things. It was funny, when I bought this though, I was actually thinking about buying the Smith & Wesson M&P 22 because it took a lot of the AR-15 parts. And we're going to take a look at some of the differences when we break it down, but this was a little bit cheaper, to be honest, and really, I've been very happy with it. Let's check the trigger pull action. Just a tiny bit of take up, and a nice crisp break. It is a little heavy though. Reset right there. Check the trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge and Brownells. 6 pounds, 11 ounces. That's about right. It's coming in about the 7-pound mark. So a little heavy, but definitely crisp. We really appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring our ammo, all made in the USA. And not all that known for their rimfire stuff, but it is excellent. Their high velocity rounds will feed about anything. Great time at the range, no malfunctions. Honestly, we were using the Fiocchi standard velocity ammunition, and it just worked really well. Magazines, these have been around for a long time. And then, of course, that look, and that's what I love about this the most. I mean, it looks like an HK, and it even has the piston, fake piston up here, but just a great looking rifle. Again, Umarex has been around for a long time, and so, you know, they've really refined this rifle, and especially if you want to do some training and you want to just shoot 22. Trigger pull, you know, is not all that great, honestly, but it's not bad. I mean, we can still get some decent groups with it. And of course, you got plenty of capacity with your magazines. All the same controls as your AR-15, just cheaper to shoot, lighter recoil, but it will give you a lot of training. That ejection pattern is perfect. Great little lightweight rifle, a lot of fun. Now to disassemble it, it has your standard takedown pin right here, so we're going to pull it out. Now the takedown pin has a little detent to hold it into place, but until you pull this out, the action does not come up. But you can slip it back in there while you're working on it. And then we have our fire control group here. You can see that it's definitely proprietary for Umarex, and so it's not going to be interchangeable with your standard AR-15 or even HK type parts. Then you have your pivot pin. We're going to go ahead and pop it out. And so this is where your standard bolt and bolt carrier would be. This is a solid piece inside the receiver. You can see your recoil spring down there, but obviously it's not compatible with your standard AR-15. I closed the dust cover and it did work. So it does work. I may have not been holding my mouth right, but definitely different. As far as cleaning, I mean, for me, I've always just added a little bit of oil. I just cleaned down in here and it seemed to work well, again, for over 11 years. Reassembly, just pop in your pivot pin, bring down the back, just lock it in, and it works. Now, the manufacturer suggested retail price on the HK416D is $599. At Gun Zone Deals, they're running $391.99. So market price is definitely going to be less. Your extra magazines are running anywhere from $27.99 down to $18.99 according to where you get them, but that's what they are on Gun Zone Deals. Pros and cons. Definitely has a really cool look to it. If you have an HK416, this is a great companion, and yet it's considerably less than if HK produced it. So that's a big plus. I love the M-LOK rail, the whole setup, even the faux adjustable gas system. I mean, it's just cool. HK style all the way throughout. Again, as long as I've had Umarex, they've been very reliable, been great little guns. Magazines are fairly reasonable, which is a big plus. And they should be pretty plentiful because these have been around for a long time. Umarex is actually owned by Walther, so there is a lot of good crossover. They also make airsoft and paintball guns, which is kind of funny, but they really have put together a nice licensed copy of a lot of really great firearms. The overall feel is very AR-15, so even if you have a standard AR-15 rifle, this is going to make a great trainer. Adjustable sights on top, again, a big plus. Now, what are some cons? It has proprietary system inside. You know, it makes it a little bit more difficult to maintain and keep clean. You're not going to be able to switch out the parts. That's definitely probably the biggest con. Again, it's not made by HK, it's licensed by HK, but that is going to really make this a very reasonable option. And 22 is just great to have, low report, cheap to shoot, very little recoil, great for first-time shooters, just great to get out and plink. So guys, if you're looking for a training rifle for your AR-15, these are excellent options, low recoil, very cheap to shoot, you know, low report. They're just a lot of fun, and yet you have all the controls of your AR-15. And then if you want to step it up and make it look really cool, this HK416D, it's just a great looking rifle. And again, I've had experience for over 11 years with these from Umarex, and guys, these companies are putting their name on rifles made by Umarex, and that says a lot about these firearms. But really, the cool factor is what I love about this the most. And again, we want to thank the guys over at Gun Zone Deals for sending the HK416D for this review. We really appreciate their help. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic. I think a pick rail may fit in there. No. Got your charging handle. Of course, it is a short charging handle. Of course, it only comes out to an adjustable on your, what is that? Buffer tube. Looks just like the 416. And we're going to take a look at some of the different, really good rounds, especially if you're having any okay, with the M4 Colt. Okay. Now, out, they've been doing that for a number of, stop that. The M16 in the M416.